Clarence, we've got October baseball in Arlington, not Houston. Well, Houston too, but Arlington. However, did we Ranger fans, Ranger Nation, the Rangers themselves, celebrate too early? The Rangers had the division in the bag for 4 months of the season. Then they blew it. Then Houston decided to take a breather against bad teams. Then the Rangers blew it. Then with the final 4 games of the regular season, the Rangers did everything they could to win and blow it. They win on Saturday night against the Mariners in Seattle. They start celebrating their playoff appearance. So they're going to go to the playoffs regardless of whatever anything else happens with any other team. The division title was still at stake. They find out the Astros win and they cancel the celebration. They basically turn off the celebration. Like, hey, we made it, but hey, we got one more game left on Sunday against the Mariners. And if we win the American League West. If we don't win and Houston wins, then the Astros get it. Sure enough, the bats don't show up. The Rangers don't score a run against a team that had been eliminated, Seattle, in a 1-0 loss. The Astros go out and win. They celebrate. Well, they're above celebrating now because all they do is win World Series. And now that has become really kind of an unfortunate, ugly tete-a-tete between the two franchises, Houston and Texas.
Not just the franchise, the media too.
Yeah, the media got involved. Our friend Emily Jones, she caught stray bullets on that one. It got kind of petty. The GM, Chris Young, comes out and calls out the Houston media yesterday.
Oh, it's crazy. It's crazy.
It's petty. I kind of love it. I don't like what happened. Emily's a friend. I don't like what happened to Emily. But because some of the social media stuff gets really ugly. Clarence, did the Rangers celebrate too early?
So I just need to understand the timeline because the Rangers are now telling a different story that they didn't really celebrate. It was only muted. But so did they start celebrating? Then they found out the Astros won, then they stopped. Is that what you just said? They started, then they stopped.
That's the way I understand it, which was they popping champagne, drinking Bud Light, drinking water, whatever. Hey, we're winning. We won. Which the way and I don't like the way baseball handles celebration stuff. If you look at every other league, they don't celebrate till they get to the end. Either you make the Super Bowl or win the Super Bowl or make the Stanley Cup Finals and win the Stanley. That's when you celebrate. The other ones are like, hey, great, let's go out and have a nice steak dinner. Baseball is like, we did it for everything. And so the Rangers hadn't made the playoffs since 2016. So they get in and they're celebrating. Great. Then they find out the Astros have won. And with the Astros winning, that put weight on what was going to happen Sunday. And that's when the Rangers decided, okay, this changes everything. Let's shut it down. We got a game tomorrow that matters. And we're going to play like that, even though they didn't. But that's essentially the timeline.
Yeah, it was just a bad look. And for them to try to act like calling out. I mean, the Astros were right. They won. They got World Series titles. And then they won this division title because you were celebrating and you lost. And so it is what it is, and I would love to see.
They celebrate too early?
Huh?
Do you think they celebrated too?
Well, yeah. I mean, they didn't put it in the proper perspective. If the division title was going, especially since you had been, leading and been the favorite for the division title all year. Now, I would say this: that when you haven't done it, as long as the Rangers had done it, it is something special. It is something cool. But the bottom line is, you now made it tougher for yourself. You got to go to Tampa Bay.
You got to fly from Seattle all the way to Tampa. I mean, that's the killer about this. It's, we've seen it time and time again. Winning the division doesn't mean what it once did. If you get in, we're seeing wild card teams now go to the World Series, win the World Series all the time. So Houston, Clarence, Texas blew it. They had the division, they blew it, but they had, but they're in. That's great. They're going to start their best of 3 series against the Rays, which it's basically a road series. It's a best of 3 in Tampa. Now, Tampa offers no hint of home field advantage. It's the worst stadium in North American sports by a wide margin. But when I think what you just said, you said a mouthful right there. If you're Texas, you haven't done this in a long time. It's worth celebrating. If the Astros, you've been doing this now for 8 years. winning a division doesn't mean what it once did 8 years ago, because 8 years ago they would have been celebrating. Now it reminds me when the Oakland A's, remember those great Oakland A's teams in the late 80s? Well, they won, and back when the division was everything, by the time they won the third division, they weren't celebrating anymore because they had won the previous 2 years. And I think that's what happens. The bottom line is the fact that the Rangers got in the playoffs, considering where they were last season when they won 68 games, to get to 90 wins, that's a hell of a.
I know, but see, that's our problem in this area. It's bless the Rangers' hearts. They're in the playoffs. There's no standard. There's no expectation.
So true.
And so everybody's happy and feels good for them that, the little Rangers, little Red Shoes Rangers, they're in the playoffs. Oh, that's
so
cute. That's so cute and cute. They're in the playoffs.
You're dead on right.